So now we have our identity pool created. Now let's start writing our JavaScript code. For that, just open up a text editor of your choice and we are going to write some JavaScript and HTML in that file. So I'm going to use Sublime, but you can use whatever you want. So over here I've created a file cognito.html and I'm going to write my code over here. So first of all, we'll define our HTML tags. So first of all, we are going to use jQuery, so I'm going to include that in our head section. And we are going to use JavaScript SDK to interact with AWS, so we will need the JavaScript SDK's JavaScript library, so we are going to include that. And in the body section, we are going to create an input box, a button, and a paragraph to display the output. So over here we have our input box where the user will input their name, and then there's a button called say hello, which when the user will click the button, the output will be displayed in the paragraph. So now let's write JavaScript for that. So in the head section, we're going to write on button click event, which will call the function get hello. So I'm going to define the function get hello. Before that, we need to configure our identity pool. So let's go back to our management console. Over here we'll click on hello, or if you click on federated identities, it will take you to this page, and then we'll click on hello. Click on sample code over here. Select Android as a platform, click on JavaScript and copy this code, which will give us the AWS credentials, and then we'll go back to our code and we're going to paste it over here. So we have configured our identity pool, and you will have to change your identity pool ID depending on your identity pool ID. And then we are going to use Lambda service. So we're going to declare the variable Lambda, and this is going to create a new service handler. So we are going to use AWS Lambda. And inside the get hello function, first of all, we'll get the name, whatever the input user has entered. Then we are going to create our input payload, which we are going to send to AWS Lambda, our JSON. So basically we have declared a variable input, and which will have a JSON, which will have a key value of name, and the value would be whatever the user has entered. And then we are going to invoke our Lambda function. So over here I'm going to use our Lambda service handler. We are going to invoke the Lambda function with the function name hello world. That's our function name inside AWS Lambda, our console. In the payload, we are going to stringify our input. So basically the key value will have double quotes, and the name well contains whatever the user has entered. And if there is an error in return, we are going to display the error text in the output paragraph. Else we are going to parse the payload in JSON format and display it in our output at the bottom. So now let's run our function and see what happens. So I'm just going to double click on our HTML. I'm going to type in my name, click on say hello. And so it went to our Lambda function and got the output back, hello Arpan. And if you go back to our sample code, or go back to our IAM or AWS management console, click on dashboard, and if you look at this, there are total of one identity. So basically this machine that I'm working on has been identified as one of the clients. So if you access this function from another client, it will change this number to 2. And this is how identities are managed, and you can look at the identities over here.